Your opening tip tonight is the Brooklyn Nets, and what a season they are putting together. They've gone 16-2 in their last 18 games, led by the great Kevin Durant, who has averaged 31 points on 61% shooting during the stretch. And this surge has taken them from being below 500 to where they sit now, which is just a game and a half behind Boston for the best record in the entire NBA. And Vegas is taking notice. Brooklyn now 3-1 to win the East, tied with the Bucks for the second shortest odds. Despite some recent struggles, the Celtics, who swept the Nets in the first round last year, of course, are still the favorites to win the East again. So Stephen A. Smith has been riding high on the Nets since before the season began. Are they in position to avenge last year's playoff disappointment?
I don't think there's any question about that. They're definitely in position to do it because they're one of the top seeds in the Eastern Conference. And if it stays that way, you don't have to worry about running into Boston in the first round. What you can deal with a lower seed, and then obviously you get your things going, you get your rhythm and what have you. And I don't think it would be a sweep if they were to meet again. Not to say that Boston can't beat them, because they're the deepest team in basketball. They play elite defense. They've got two superstars. They're well balanced. The Brogdon pickup is huge for them. But when you look at the Brooklyn Nets with KD playing the way that he plays, every time I've seen the team bus pull up to an arena, Kyrie Irving has gotten off of it in the last several weeks. So you got that going on. And obviously, you got guys like Claxton and others have been fulfilling their roles. I still think they need some girth on their front line. There is no question about that. But what we're seeing from them offensively, defensively, under the coaching of a Jacques Vaughn, there is no question that the Nets are in position to make some noise in the Eastern Conference.
You have been skeptical, Michael Wilbon. Are you still? Still.
Yes. Yeah, you don't just play well in January in an 82-game season. I mean, pro sports aren't about that. Even the NFL with its 17-game season now is still something of a marathon. These are marathons. Now, I agree with every bit of what Stephen A. just offered up. There's no disagreeing with any of that. The question about that girth is, can they acquire it? What deal are they going to make, and can they get the help down there they need? Because when you get to the playoffs, basketball slows down. Some of these 130-point nights aren't going to be that. They might be 105-point nights, and you better be able to play physically.
Jalen, you just brought up on SportsCenter, and for the audience just joining us, I think it was a really good point, that the Nets don't have a big two. They have a big three. And the third member of that big three, who you see on your screen right there right now, Ben Simmons, things will change when we get to the playoffs with him.
And the great Stephen A., who loved the Nets all season, didn't mention his name one time. And that's going to be the issue when the playoffs start. But again, I want to salute the Nets for how they're playing right now. But let's not ignore who the Bucks are when they're healthy, who the Celtics have been, including winning the East last year. The girth that they're going to need means you got to play against Joel Embiid, you got to play against Giannis and Lopez, and you got to play against the bigs and the driving force that is the Boston Celtics. So, yes, they're in position, Greeny, but position to lose in the second round.
Well, that's what he says. And, of course, Wilbon is going to agree with him. That's that Midwest connection that's going on right there. But that's all right. Here's the deal. Jalen's not wrong if you're looking at it from that side of the fence, what the opposition poses to the Brooklyn Nets. Well, I'm a guy that's looking at the problems that the Brooklyn Nets cause to the opposition. If you have a team that can hurt you from the perimeter all night long. Let's take tonight's game into consideration coming up against the Pelicans. Zion is hurt, right? So Valanciunas is on the floor. If I'm Jacques Vaughn, I've got Nick Claxton running up and down the floor with his lightweight athletic self. Why? Because Valanciunas carrying around that girth is a problem. You might have to go small to keep up with them. Adjustments happen in the game of basketball all the time. And when you're that explosive offensively, particularly led by a preeminent superstar in Kevin Durant, guess what? Whatever it seems to be can be altered.
But he may be a piece short, Jacques Vaughn.
Yes.
He has to go to Ben Simmons, and you can't go to him. How do you counter for that, Stephen A?
Yes.
So far, so good for Jacques Vaughn. We'll talk more about him. They're 23-8 since he took over. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.